Welcome back. Foxtel and Globecast have launched two major Asian-based channels for Australian viewers. Let's get the latest from Mediaweek's James Manning in Hobart. James, the two channels are NHK World and CCTV 9. What will we actually see on the channels?
Yeah, NHK World's English language version of the Japanese news channel that a lot of viewers would have been familiar with, I guess, during the earthquake and tsunami a couple of years ago. They had some great coverage of the actual day it happened and the aftermath, of course. And CCTV is is an English language Chinese channel, sister channel of CCTV, which is already carried on the Foxtel platform. Like, both probably welcome additions to what's becoming quite a broad news offering.
And rather interestingly, reports this week that Foxtel CEO has been holding preliminary talks, I suppose, with FTA bosses about a joint online video on demand service to get ahead of the likes of Netflix and Hulu. Unsurprisingly, Foxtel not commenting, but could you actually see this happening?
I just think technology might sort of get ahead of this one a little bit. I mean, you've got people like Channel 7 already talking about the HBB TV, so lets them broadcast multiple channels across broadband if they wish. They're going to start experimenting. They'll have some offerings up sort of mid 2014. I just got a feeling this one mightn't get up. And
a couple of executive moves in the industry as well. Former Fremantle Media executive Tony Skinner moving to indie TV producer WTFN, I should say.
Yeah, they make shows like Bondi Vet, a lot of reality programming. He ran a division at Fremantle Media most recently called Spring, which was sort of for ad-funded programming. So it's probably a good get for WTFN.
And just finally, Twitter Australia, a new managing director, Karen Stocks.
Yeah, she comes from Google, worked in Google and YouTube for about 2 or 3 years, I think. Before that, she had a long background working with Vodafone in the telco sector. So, yeah, first time Twitter's had a GM in Australia.
Time now to take a look at ratings for week 35. Firstly, to free-to-air. Just taking a look there, number 1 and number 2, unsurprisingly, for the X Factor for 7 doing well, filling the top 3 positions actually. 7 News Sunday in number 3. 9 gets a first look in with its 9 News Sunday program at number 4, and Australia's Got Talent also on 9, rounding out that 5th position there. Moving on, a little bit more of a mix. ABC gets a look in. Grua Nation had its final episode just yesterday, coming in at number 9. 9 News in there at number 8, and 60 Minutes as well coming in the number 6 position. Now to subscription TV ratings for week 35, and starting with the most watched sports programs. Pretty good split. NRL filling the top 2 positions, as well as number 5, Seagulls versus the Storm in number 1 position. You can see there in the middle the AFL getting a bit of a look in positions 3 and 4. Port Adelaide versus Carlton, and Sydney and Hawthorn. What a disappointing match there. I thought Sydney was going to get up against Hawthorn. Wasn't to be. And moving on to the next page, the TV ratings, non-sports, NCIS on TV1, taking out pole position. Family Guy also doing rather well in position 2. Simpsons rounding out the top 5, and of course on Fox 8. Now for more news on that TV sector, let's bring back in James Manning from Mediaweek. Shine Australia, James. Yet another commission, this time to make the Naomi Campbell series the face for Foxtel.
Yeah, gee, they're running a full book. They do a good job on TV shows. People like Shine Australia making a program for them. It's a great get to Naomi Campbell. She'll come out here for this. She's going to be one of the mentors on the program for the models. Foxtel will, in due course, announce who will be actually hosting the show, and we'll see that. I think it's going to be on Fox 8, and we'll get that probably sometime mid-2014.
So they'll be hosting Australia's Next Top Model. This is on Foxtel, as well as The Face, which I'm seeing has got Naomi Campbell. I'm going to have to assume it's got something to do with models.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Well, yeah, it's just an area that works very well for them. You know, it's the number one program. Australia's next top model. Most weeks are non-sport, so why not have something that's not totally dissimilar and keep that audience happy.
And James, some interesting and yet more moves at Network 10. They're moving their sports report about Brad McEwen to Melbourne. And former Wallaby Matt Burke, this is a very interesting one. He's going to be reading the sport news alongside Sandra Sally in Sydney.
Yeah, look, it means it's going to be the end of the Sandra Sully, Brad McEwen double act, which they used to work together on late night TV, then worked very well in that 5 o'clock hour for Sydney viewers. But Brad's going back to Melbourne. He'll be reading the news down there.
Yeah.
For the sport, that is.
And Matt Burke, former Wallaby, interesting one. And also staying with 10, Mal Walden, the well-known newsreader down in Melbourne. Final sign-off date. Yeah,
look, they've telegraphed some time ago that he would be leaving. Now they're giving us plenty of notice again. Look, he'll be finishing up in December. I think Stephen Quartermain will be reading the news from 10 from then onwards down in that market.
And just finally, a very sad and very sizable loss to the industry. David Frost died this week, aged just 74.
Yeah, look, an amazing career, lots of great interviews. They made a great motion picture about one of his, great interviews with Richard Nixon. And he worked right up until just before his death, of course. Most recently, he'd been part of the Al Jazeera network doing some good interviews for them.
On that note, do have to leave it there. Big thank you, James, for joining us from Hobart this week.
Thank you.
And from all the team here, thanks very much for your company.